Hi, I'm Scoot. Welcome to the Scoot on the Air YouTube channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you become a subscriber. I want to welcome all of you who have become new subscribers. Thank you. A lot of interesting videos here, a lot of opinions being expressed, and I try to get back to as many of you as I can if you do have a comment. But it's free to subscribe, and you become a subscriber, and we'll give you a notice every time we post something. So on my radio talk show today on WL in New Orleans, a guy called up, and it took me a while to figure out what he was trying to say, but he basically was saying that, and a lot of people are upset now that on the air, I'm not paying more attention to the Durham report, the Durham investigation. First of all, this is about an investigation that is really not new. It is about Hillary spying on the Trump campaign. It's a very, very complicated investigation. It's a very complicated filing. And I have decided to take my radio show in a slightly different direction, where we're not talking about Trump. We're not talking about politics every day. Quite often local politics, here in New Orleans, but we're not talking about the right versus left because, it's such bullshit. And I get so tired of just the ignorant conversations and the hate and just the lack of actually listening, the lack of independent thinking. It bugs the shit out of me. So, we talk about other things because my job from 1 to 4 Central Time in the afternoon on WWL is to entertain. And sometimes you entertain through talking about serious topics. And we've got serious stuff to talk about in New Orleans, carjackings and the crime wave and things like that. But I'm also trying to get into, other things that are a little more fun to talk about. So I stay away from some of these things. It's interesting that when I talked about Trump on a regular basis, people were calling and bitching. Now, not everybody, because I have great support. But there were people who were calling and bitching that I talked about Trump all the time. Now that I'm ignoring freaking Trump, people want to know, well, why are you ignoring Trump? Look, I'll get to the Durham investigative filing. It's complicated. And it's not really that new. But anyway, this really led to a conversation about how the media is ignoring the Durham report. Not true. Before my show, Noel Norman on WWL, he spent about an hour talking about it. I didn't hear the conversation because I'm preparing for my show when he's doing his show. But Noel is a conservative. He reaches across the aisle, but he's a conservative. So, he covered it. I don't have to cover it. I don't have any responsibility to cover a certain issue. There's no mandate. And then on Morning Joe on MSNBC, Joe Scarborough, they had a discussion for about an hour this morning on it. Jake Tapper on CNN covered it. So it is being covered. Here's what I get from this. There are people who pick up conservative talking points from conservative media and conservative social media. And they don't think. If they get it from a source that they like, not that a source is necessarily trustworthy, but a source that they like, if it's what they want to believe, they'll parrot that all over the damn place without thinking. And so this guy calling into the show is complaining that I'm biased. You're damn right the media is biased. I'm a talk show host. I am biased. I'm a radical moderate. On some issues, I'm very conservative. On some issues, I'm very liberal. In fact, most of us are like that. Very few Americans are far right or far left. Most of us judge issues based on the merits of the issue and based on how, we see things in life. But yes, I'm biased. But what I find interesting, but also very, very disturbing is the idea that somebody like that caller today is not going to call or even think about calling or calling out Sean Hannity for being biased. Sean Hannity doesn't give both sides of the issue. Sean Hannity is a very narrowly focused conservative right. That's it. That's all you get. It's all totally predictable. You know what you're going to get as soon as he opens his mouth, and you know what you got as soon as he finishes talking. So what is disturbing is this concept that people want you to be objective. They don't want you to be biased if it's opinions that they disagree with. And that is like totally un-American. That is hypocritical. It's unpatriotic. And it's not accepted. Oh, well, you have to be fair. You have to be objective. No, I don't have to be objective. It's talk radio, for God's sake. So I just, I find these conversations disturbing because I can tell that something has gone out on social media, conservative social media, because on my radio show, whether it's calls or texts or both, it gets echoed right back to me. And it's all the same thing. So they're all picking up on the same thing. Look, liberals, Democrats, they've got their faults too. But let's just focus on this because this happened today. The media is biased. Fox News is biased. I talked recently here on the YouTube channel and on my radio show about conservative, nationally syndicated talk show host Hugh Hewitt. He admits that he doesn't talk about some things because he only talks about what he thinks the audience wants to hear. Which you can go back and check. That's a video titled, "Who Controls the Media?" You control the media. You do. I'm not going to go into it again, but you can check out that video. But you control the media. Because the media gives you what you want. What they think you want. CNN does it. MSNBC does it. Newsmax does it. America Online News Network does it. And Fox News, again, Fox News does it. It's okay. It's okay that they do it. What's not okay is that you don't freaking understand it. Maybe not you, but anybody who doesn't understand that, that's the problem. It's not a problem that they're biased. It's a problem that people don't understand that they're biased. And if they agree with the attitude or the general opinions, then it's not biased. If it's something they disagree with, well, then it's biased and it's not fair. That is total bullshit. So, let's just be smart as consumers of the media and realize that the media is biased. And even back in the days of Walter Cronkite on the CBS Evening News, the media was biased. Walter Cronkite was about as objective and respectable as you could possibly be delivering the network news at night. But after Walter Cronkite went to Vietnam and came back, he was against the war. So much so that in his body language, in the words that he chose, in the way he delivered the news, you could tell he was against the war. We're human beings. You and I can take the same set of facts, and based on our lives, based on what I've been through, based on what you've been through in life, based on our experiences, we're going to deliver those facts differently. Even if we try to be objective, there's going to be some differences. So let's just understand that, the media is biased. So what? The media is no longer dominated as much by liberal ideology as it once was. Fox News is number one in the ratings. Conservative talk radio dominates overwhelmingly dominates talk radio in America. There are not many shows like my show. So the parity is really there. And then you've got Newsmax and One American News Network. So it's really more fair, but yet people can't get this out of their brains. Oh, the liberals, the media is liberal. It's not fair. Yeah, there's some liberal media outlets. There are conservative media outlets too. So it's much more balanced than it's ever been. But as far as things like the Durham report, I mean, look, there's a lot to be determined there, and I mean, it's really difficult to understand. The simplistic idea is Hillary spied on Trump. That hasn't been proven. And that is a very simplistic view of the whole thing. It is a lot more complicated than that. And anybody that wants to simplify it and reduce it to that simplistic notion is not serving you. They're baiting you. They're trying to get you to buy into the bullshit. And look, very quickly, when it comes to defund the police, there are some cities where people have plans to defund the police. There are some cities like New York, Seattle, and Portland, and they have taken money from the police to put into other programs. But only the city of Minneapolis that I know of has really talked about getting rid of the police, and that's something that's not even working. It's too extreme. But the right has done one hell of a job when it comes to convincing America that there are serious defund the police efforts to where we're not going to have the police anymore. If we can take some money from the police and put it into social programs and mental health programs that prevent young people from becoming criminals, that's money well spent. But nobody of their right mind is talking about getting rid of the police. Again, there are going to be some extremists that talk about that, but that's bullshit. We're not going to get rid of the police. We need the police. We need strong police presence now more than ever before. And the city of New Orleans is so short when it comes to police officers that we can't even defund any aspect of the police here. We need more money for the police. We're short police officers. But in cities where they have enough police officers and enough of this and enough of that, maybe there's money that could be better spent to prevent people from becoming criminals. But the defund the police mantra is scaring the shit out of a lot of people. And we're not going to get rid of the police. So relax. Thank you for joining me on the Scoot in the Air YouTube channel.